What is up, everybody? I didn't forget Gold Taco. What are you talking about? All right, what is up, my peeps? Okay, so the reason I wanted to do this because I want to make Star Wars theories, and I want to make a bunch of behind the scenes videos that go pretty dang in depth about a bunch of stuff in the fan film, because ultimately a lot of the stuff we did, pretty much anybody can do on a shoestring budget. Um, So, uh, I want to know what questions you guys had. I'm going to get out my handy dandy Blues Clues notebook here. Y'all remember that show? I still watch it. All right, let me see here. I'm going to just write down a bunch of topics of the things I can't answer just during this live stream, and then we're going to make some videos about them. So, pretty good in-depth stuff. So, sorry, I'm just getting out my notebook. Okay. Let's see here. Pen. When will the next episode be? That's a good question, Mythic Bricks. I was just talking to Star Wars Theory about that. I think the best case scenario is probably next December. It takes a long time to make one of these episodes, because there are a select few people who do work on them full time, but most people are working part time. If we wanted to do like full time and get it out by like July or something like that, it would just cost an astronomical amount of money, and it just wouldn't be effective. But that's a good question. Let's see here. When will the next episode be? Star Wars Theory is making a video about that as we speak. So, okay, let's see here. Let me see. When will the next episode be? Dalton Ammons asked, do you know the game Empire at War? I'm playing it right now. Empire, like the Star Wars game Empire at War? There was a game like that, right? If I recall, it's a pretty old game. Okay. Let's see here. How many hours spent filming? Well, I can just answer that right now, but I can go more in depth about that in an actual video. We spent 3.5 days filming. So a normal shooting day is 12 hours. And that's, for there's a half hour, 45 minutes of lunch in those 12 hours. That includes from the first person getting there to leaving. And so we spent roughly 12 hours shooting each day. I think one day we went to like 13 or even 14. But we spent 3.5 days. So 18 plus, or no, let me do my math here. So 3 times 12 is 36 plus 6. So about 42 hours shooting, which is an extremely, extremely quick turnaround time to shoot something like this. It's really, really fast. In fact, we had originally planned to shoot 4 days, and we had slated 2 days to construct the set, the throne room set, and we had a third day as a buffer day for rehearsals and stuff like that and lighting. But the set construction took 3.5 days. It took almost 100% longer than it was supposed to take. And so, those things happen. So it ate into one of our first shoot day. And so we started shooting after lunch on our first shoot day, so we got about 3.5 days of shooting. All right. Let's see here. I'm just going back down here. So I'll make a video on shooting quickly. How about that? How do you shoot quickly? How do you prepare to shoot quickly? So that includes storyboards and production meetings with all of your production heads, like your cinematographer, your production designer, all that stuff, which you would do on any film. Okay, let's see here. How'd you get the last shot? Let's see here. How many clones do you plan on having in the next episode? Well, this part right here, right behind me, is in the next episode. So we plan on having at least 10 clones. There'll be at least 10 clones in the next episode. And they have pretty big parts as well. Let's see here. How'd you get the last shot? So I'll do a whole breakdown on the last shot, but the last shot is a a composite of 3 separate shots. Um, how did we do the last shot? I'm writing this down. It's Vader in front of a green screen, then the background plate of the arches and stuff like that, plus a computer generated hole in front of him, plus elements of the light flashing, the smoke, all of that stuff as well, which was added by our composition artist Tim Forgren, who was fantastic. Um, so, why? When do I get to see Star Wars Theory's face? Asked Ikarik. Dude, just go to his channel. He did the face reveal a couple hours before the film dropped. Darth Vader asked, Spiffy Nerd Herder, hello, hello there. If you had a chance to direct The Last Jedi, would you do it? Well, The Last Jedi has already been directed by Rian Johnson, so I don't know if it's an option for me to direct that. Was this the biggest film you directed? This was the biggest film with the most VFX that I've directed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has been the biggest film. Not the longest film. I've directed a feature film, so it's not the longest film. Not the biggest in terms of shoot days or anything like that. I have done projects that have had more shoot days and a variety of bigger in different elements. However, this was definitely the most. This is the biggest film that most people have seen. All right. Let's see here. Do you think the new Lucas Museum would be interested in archiving or using your film as an example of Star Wars fan cinema? That'd be super cool. You know, I used to live literally right across the street from where the Lucasfilm Museum is going in, and that would be awesome. We used to live there when I was going to USC. Dale, I hope you're hearing me a little bit better. All right. Gold Taco says, if I meet George Lucas, I'm telling him about Vader fan film. Please do. If any of you guys meet George Lucas, tell him about the film. If he saw it, that would just be awesome. Clavis says, I'm driving to the palace in my Porsche. I go to the guest room, and guess who I see? Darth Vader. I don't know what the context of that quote is, but that's, seeing Darth Vader anywhere is pretty cool, I guess. All right. Let's see here. Hey, Nar Audio. He did our audio for the film. All right. Clavis asked, did you only use one camera for the scenes? And if you did, how many multiple takes of each scene? So that's a good question, Clavis. So did we use one camera? How many takes? I'll do a video on that. Short answer, yes. We only used one camera. We only had one camera the entire shoot, simply because of budget. I couldn't tell you on average. I do as many takes as it takes. So some shots, you know, you do like 1 or 2. Others, I think the most we did was like 7 or 8. You just got to do it until you get it. But that's part of being a director, is knowing when you got it. And moving on, really. Okay. Let's see here. Mythic Bricks, it was great to meet you at the premiere too. So oh, I'm not going back far enough. I'm sorry. When are you casting the Jedi for episode 2? What would the requirements be? Whoever the Jedi, we have not cast any of the Jedi for episode 2. And the requirements definitely will be athletic, some sort of athletic ability. And we won't only be casting, say, 18-year-olds. You know, we will have older members, older Jedi for sure, to give it a authenticity that a lot of fan films don't have. You know, they might only have, you know, 20-year-olds trying to play 60-year-olds. So it's a wide range. And we're going to try to get people that don't look the same. So we have a lot of variety in what we see. We're going to have humans. We're going to have aliens. I mean, we see here, we've got this person who's a former Temple Jedi guard. This person is a Zabrak, who was trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi in swordsmanship, because Obi-Wan was the only homie that fought a Zabrak, Darth Maul. And this Zabrak, whose name is Zach Solis, I think, he uses two lightsabers, 2 single-bladed lightsabers, to differentiate himself from the double-bladed that Darth Maul used. So all of these characters have pretty intense backstories, and whoever we do cast will need to be able to fight. It's not saying that they already have to be professional swordsmen, but they will need to be able to move. They gotta get the groove on against Vader, baby. All right. Let's see here. So that's a good question, though. Who are we looking for the Jedi? All right. Let's see here. All right, there's a lot of close-ups in the fan film. Was that a choice you made, or was it required because of set size? So some of the shots that you see, um, certainly some of the wide shots shoot off the set, and we extended the top of the set in visual effects. Um, in general, though, I know this film was being shot for the YouTube format. Um, in other words, little bitty screens. So that's not to say that. So yeah, we tended to use a little bit more close-ups than normal because of that. However, mostly it's especially the first scene. Close-ups tend to lend themselves a little bit more for action just because they're more intense. However, we certainly had wide shots and stuff like that. It was a big thing of mine not to do only close-ups because only close-ups suck. The third scene definitely gets much wider, especially the last scene. I mean, we're pretty dang. We have a lot of wide stuff. You know, I never get above a medium in the last scene, so tried to utilize a little bit wider shots. Okay, let's see here. But shot selection, that's a good video. Wides versus close-ups. All right. Did the film come out as you expected? Pretty, yeah. I don't know if I'd say expected, but as I hoped. All right. Darth Scion95 says, let's vote Danny to direct a Star Wars spinoff. I like that idea. Is Star Wars your favorite franchise? Yeah, you better believe it, baby. All right. Among so many fans of Star Wars, what caused you to approach Star Wars Theory with this film? So, because I love Star Wars, and when he said he wanted to make a fan film, I'm like, maybe that's the closest I'm ever going to get. So, I emailed him, and it went from there. I was just lucky he responded to my email, because I know he doesn't respond to everybody's emails since he gets so many of them. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, there's a lot of questions here. All right. Goodness, you guys are tearing it up here. All right. What shots did you plan on filming but ended up not? That's a good question. Which shots got cut? That's definitely a video topic. There's not quite a few, but I'd say there's maybe 10. But again, as a director, you're supposed to know what you need to tell your story, and you know what shots you plan ahead of time, which shots you're going to cut in the event that you don't have time. Okay. So I got Juan Naranjo is reminding me that he's not the only person who did the audio. We had a fantastic team of audio sound editors and mixers in Mexico City, and the film could not have been possible without them. They did a fantastic job. So please give them a shout out. All right. Chris Ryan says, is it possible for you to turn this into a full-length feature instead with return actors? So I assume that you're saying like with the actual actors, like Samuel L. Jackson or Hayden Christensen or something. I suppose it's in the realm of possibility. In the realm of likelihood, not really. Because remember, we don't own the rights to Star Wars. You know, it's we just don't. Danny, live streaming during vacation. Hope you've been enjoying much needed time off. Says Catherine LaSalle, our Padme. Everyone give a shout out to her. Yeah, cats. I'm lame. Okay. Let's see here. So Timothy asked, "Was Palpatine deceiving Darth Vader when his lightsaber was in front of him? Because we both know Palpatine wants to rule everything in the universe, not to be replaced." That's a good question. Why do you guys think Palpatine put his lightsaber in a position for Vader to turn it on and was taunting him to turn it on? Why do you guys think? There's a reason for that. Absolutely. Vader to kill him. So I'm going to make... That's a good video topic. All right. For the film, did you primarily take inspiration from canon or legends? This is from Nerd in the Nutshell. Or did you use both? Great work on the film. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. We definitely used... we used inspiration from both. A lot of force powers from canon and legends. You're going to see a lot more in the other episodes. We took a lot of stuff from Darth Vader, Rise of Darth Vader, or Dark Lord, or I don't know, whatever the James Luceno book I think it is, which is now Legends. We took quite a bit from that. We took from Lords of the Sith, because both books address Padme and how Vader felt about it, and we kind of expanded upon it. One of the biggest things I always kind of felt that was really interesting that just kind of got glossed over in the comics, the Vader comics, is this idea that Palpatine promised to save Padme and to give Vader all his power, yet in the end, Vader lost everything, Palpatine got everything, Vader lost his wife, and I felt like in the comics, it's just like one issue, the first issue of the Vader comic, and Palpatine's like, "Don't ever touch me again with the Force." And Vader's like, "Okay," and that was kind of it. Granted, they are kind of delving into it a little bit more, but I always kind of felt it should be a little bit more of a source of tension between Vader and Palpatine, because that's the whole reason he turned to the dark side. You know, I'd be a little ticked off. All right. So Josh Long asked, as the film series keeps going, will you guys reference Ahsoka? Like, will Palpatine's hit at Vader to take care of something on Lothal at the end of the series or not? Interesting idea. You gotta remember with Ahsoka, there's a lot of baggage there. We maybe a reference, but anything beyond that, probably not, because then it becomes a movie about Vader and Ahsoka. So, it's a delicate situation to get in Ahsoka into the film. Okay, let's see here. What hiccups did you encounter during production? That's a good question. I'll make a video out of that. Because there were, like any film, there were a lot. Any movie has them, no matter how much you prep. But it's the amount of time you prep gives you the ability to overcome those hiccups. All right. Let's see here. Whew. Man, you guys are tearing it up here with questions. All right. What was the most difficult scene either to put together with VFX? I think the most difficult to film... So the most difficult scene to film was the close-up of Padme. Because it required the actors to hit their marks exactly. Like, Kat had to be in the exact right position to get the Vader's hand on her face. Vader had to be in the right position so his helmet wasn't blocking her. So it's sometimes these simple things. Actually, that was really difficult. The other second difficult one was the Vader and Padme hug shots. Not love shot, hug shot. I guess it's a love shot. Just trying to make it not look awkward, not make it look distracting. All right. Let's see here. We've got a lot of Chipotle talk on this thing. Directed Chipotle fan film. I'd direct that as long as there's free Chipotle. Have you ever watched Naruto? I have not. Beast up. I haven't. Not familiar with that. Do you start a typical filming day with a pep talk for your team or something similar? No, not really. Typically, the AD, the assistant director, will do that, like in a safety meeting. Um, but I certainly, as a director, always try to stay very energetic because I feel that no one's going to be as energetic. No one's going to be more energetic than the director. No one's going to care more than the director. If they don't get the feeling the director doesn't, if they get the feeling the director doesn't really care, I think it's game over. Okay. Let's see here. Star Wars Theory should make a "What if Star Wars Theory was Hayden Christensen" video. That'd be funny. Was the cast and crew paid or was it volunteer? The cast and crew were paid. It wasn't very much, to be totally honest. It was a labor of love for pretty much everybody involved. So, and probably episode 2 will be the same way. Just because, like I've said in other videos, if you want to make an actual Star Wars movie, they spend $2 million per finished minute. I mean, just think about that for a second. $2 million per finished minute is how much a real Star Wars movie costs. So, it's a labor of love for all of us. Okay, I'm an aspiring director, and I don't know how I can start to become a director. So I'd really help me if you could help me, I would really appreciate it. Says United Productions, etc. So that's a good video. How do you start directing? Initially, I would say find a script from a movie that you know is good, that you have not seen. That's important. Read the script, find a scene in there that you can shoot, and then shoot it with actors. That, I think, is a great first exercise as a director, because you're directing a script you know is good. Because if you've written a script, you don't know if it's good or not. It could suck. It could be great, but it could also suck. But say like you do a scene from Good Will Hunting, let's say. A film that won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Maybe somebody else too, I can't remember. But take a scene from that film. It's a film that you can do just in an apartment or in a house or wherever and film it. And then you can kind of know, then it's a good practice as a director. All right. Looking back, what are some things you would do differently while making the film? That's a video. What would I do differently? Keep them coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. Let's see. Oof, man, I'm having trouble keeping up with all you guys. Jeez. Let's see here. All right, see you, Dale. It took off a few minutes ago. Is there a love story more tragic than Anakin's Padme? It's pretty tragic. I mean, there's a lot of things in mythology that definitely have some tragedy in them as well, though. All right, who do you think would win in a fight? Clone Wars Darth Maul or Clone Wars Count Dooku? Count Dooku, hands down. Maul was all about blunt force. Count Dooku knew the Force, though. Darth Maul was all about brute strength, I should say. Dooku knew the Force much better. All right. So, Juan and his team say, what did we learn by making the film? If we can go back, what would we do differently? Yep, what would I do differently? Cool. When can we expect episode 2? So, Spider-Man probably, hopefully around December, but I really have no say on that. It's all a matter of how much, if people choose to donate to Star Wars Theory's Patreon, to join his channel, to donate directly by getting in contact with him at starwarstheory66@gmail.com. All of these things play into, and how many people just watch his videos, how many people just subscribe and watch his channel. So it depends on that, because it costs money to make an episode 2. All right, let's see here. So Makita Get says, you got to Cat. You got me with your transformation to Padme Patine. Is that the trending term now? Padme Patine? Padmatine, maybe? All right. Please have a Grand Admiral Thrawn cameo. That would be pretty sweet. Um, let's see here. That's a lot of monitors, says Ethan Network. Yeah, it's out of control. It's out of control. You need monitors to make a fan film. Okay, how will you shoot the scene how the Wookiee Jedi smashes Vader through the pillar? Ooh. I was just talking about this with somebody today. Um, how will we shoot the Vader Wookiee pillar scene? It'll either be with wires or CG. Probably. I don't know. You're asking me questions that I don't necessarily know the answer to quite yet. All right. Man, I'm way back here to try to find where I left off. So, massive appreciation. Massively appreciate the effort you put into this. Hey, thanks, General Maximus Decimus Meridius. All right. Is there any talks about episode 2? We're talking about it. Constantly talking about it. We really want to do it. We really want to give it to the fans. Let's see here. Would you mind directing a Star Wars film for Disney and Lucasfilm? That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. Disney and Lucasfilm, though, don't hire first-time directors, first-time feature directors, and I doubt they would count the one that I've already directed as a feature. So I gotta probably direct another feature first. I gotta like do the Gareth Edwards route and direct like Godzilla or something like that. All right. Were there any scenes where the actors just began to laugh? Not that I recall. There were. I mean, I guess there were a few little bloopers. There's not many bloopers though. Let's see here. Let's Talk Star Wars says, Danny, you guys killed Disney with this. Thank you. Let's see here. What scenes are you doing? Elaborate on that question. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. At the end of the film, were the clones down in the hole screaming for help part of the 501st or Fox's clones? Good question. They were Fox's clones. They were part of Fox's brigade. So the 501st has not arrived yet at that point of the film. But guys, I'm just excited for the opening shot of episode 2. It is so awesome. It's just gonna set the tone immediately for the ride we are gonna take you on. It's gonna be sweet. All right. Let's see here. Danny, will you ever do an Old Republic movie? Star Wars Theory and I have talked about it actually a little bit. We want to finish the Vader series first, but I would love to do Old Republic because I think it's super fascinating. I think it's super cool with the troopers, with the Jedi, the Sith Wars, of course. Everything that happened. I think it'd be pretty sweet. All right. Derek Going says, "I want to play a Jedi. Then I could yell at myself while killing myself." Ooh, that would be like a Inception paradox. Could you show us your editing setup behind you? Thank you for your questions. I guess it's kind of messy. I use a Wacom tablet. I use these two big monitors here for editing. The third monitor usually has the internet up, so I can be on the Discord chats and stuff like that with the visual effects people. And then this is my full screen monitor where I can look at the edit and check focus in shots. Make sure that if I'm doing like a minor visual effect to a shot that it's passable. All of that stuff. But I can get more into that, maybe. Edit and setup overview. Figure out how to make a video like that interesting. Let's see here. As an so Dal Nama says, I'm also an aspiring director. For Christmas, I got a Nikon D3400. But I'm still kind of learning things. What was your first camera? My first camera was a Digital 8 camcorder. Some Sony, I think it had 710 in the title. It was standard definition. It's still at my parents' house. But I'm not familiar with the Nikon D3400. I'm sure it's a fine camera though. Nikons are good. Um, so just start shooting. I mean, just start filming things. Start doing scenes. You learn with every single project you do. I learn with every. I mean, look, guys, I am like 8% of Steven Spielberg. You know, there's so much for me still to learn, and I continually learn. I try to learn something new every single day regarding film. I go through bouts, but there are times where I will wake up and spend an hour just trying to learn something about filmmaking, analyzing a film, doing whatever I can to learn more because there's so much I still want to learn and need to learn, really. Um, Clava says, "Am I the only one who has noticed that every Star Wars director has two syllables in their last name, except me? Ramir is. Boom, baby. All right. Will Star Wars Theory play Maskless Vader again in Episode 2 or someone else? Good question. I have no idea. We haven't decided. All right. Let's see here. What was the normal day of filming like? That's a good question. Normal day of filming run through. We got there at 7 a.m. Filmed until 7. That's about it. Let's see here. Do you have an email so my brother can send you his Star Wars stories he has written? Yeah, you can send. It's scruffy nerd herder24 at gmail.com. Are you storyboarding episode 2, despite the fact that it isn't set in stone? I have not started storyboarding episode 2 yet. Not at all. Still kind of taking a break from anything. But when I do, it should be pretty sweet. All right. Let's see here. Hey, I donated 50. Hey, I donated 50 pounds to you. I know it ain't much, but it's all I could do. I assume you mean you donated it to Star Wars Theory. But thanks, man. Hey, that's a lot. If all of the fans donated 50 pounds, we could give you we can give you the rest of the episodes, you know? So don't scoff at that. All right. Why did you call Star Wars Theory out of shape before the Vader scene? I didn't call him out of shape. I asked if he was out of shape. So the story behind that is we were on the phone and he's like, man, I'd really like to, play Star Wars, or I'd really like to play Anakin in the chamber, when he doesn't have the mask, And so I had to come up with that's my impersonation. I had to come up with a way to ask him if he was in shape or not. Because I didn't, we didn't want 2 feet tall, 400 pounds, Anakin in there. But luckily he's a pretty in shape guy. Very in shape guy. Way more than me. So it worked out perfectly. It was great. Will any Imperial commanders ever appear in any episodes? Also, in episode 2, will the 501st work with Appo or Commander Bo? Oh, you're going to have to wait and see, my man. Let's see here. Why is Vader only having the dream where he's killing the Emperor 8 months after Revenge of the Sith instead of 1 day after? This is something that has been a prevailing thing within Vader, that it's caused problems between him and the Emperor. And I said this in another live stream, but this vision that he's having is not Vader's vision. You ready to get your mind blown? It's not Vader's vision. Palpatine is giving it to him. It's all Palpatine, baby. All Palpatine. He knows exactly how Vader's feeling. And so he's utilizing the Force to make Vader live out what he desires to do. And see that it will fix nothing. See that Palpatine is stronger and he needs to listen to him. To see Palpatine is like an ultimate form of tough love. So that's why it's happening this far after, because Palpatine has watched for 8 months Vader struggle with his turn to the dark side, and he's trying to give him a swift kick in the pants to try to get him to do something. Okay, let's see here. I hope that answers your question. What is your next project going to be? Peter Pan asks. I don't know. I'm looking. I'm sending out a lot of emails. All right, why did you guys choose Star Wars Clone Wars animated style armor instead of movie clone armor? So Arkham Creed, the simple answer is that that is pretty much what cosplayers make. They make the animated style. From what I hear, from what they tell me, it's a lot more comfortable, a lot more easy to move, which I think is saying a lot because these guys straight up can't move. Like they are so stiff when they walk around and they can't run, they can't do anything. And so I can't imagine how restrictive the actual, film style armor is. But for episode 2, we're probably gonna have made 501st armor, so we can get the armor we need and get it to be as mobile as we need it to be. So that's what we had. Beggars couldn't be choosers. All right. I want to be a director like you when I grow up. Asks BDV, or says BDV. Cool, man. Great job with the movie. How come it wasn't uploaded in 4K in Star Wars Theory's YouTube? It's a good question. It was uploaded in 2K scope, which is what it was projected in the theater. But I think we'll upload a 4K file eventually. Probably shortly before episode 2, we'll upload a 4K file with a few little fixes here and there that we've noticed or that we didn't have time to do. So just stay tuned. You'll get it. You'll get it eventually. All right. Let's Talk Star Wars says, I wish I could afford you my fan film, Danny. Plus, you're a good guy. Hey, thanks, Mike. Let's see here. I shot a fan film with my parents, and the acting is terrible. Editing is better. His magic made it better. Cool. How much storage did you blow through while filming? Ooh, that's a good question. We shot UHD with the Arri Alexa. I think I don't know off the top of my head, about 2 terabytes, more or less. So Juan is saying that the Pro Tools session, just the audio for the film, was 10 gigabytes. Yeah, so that's the 2 terabytes. That's not including all the DPX files that we did for visual effects and everything like that. I think that's in the range of another 2 terabytes or so. So, let's see here. Danny Ramirez, King of Chipotle. You better believe it. Any sponsors arrived yet? I don't know. They're reaching out to Star Wars Theory. I know one company has at least. I talked to another company about potentially donating some cameras for the next episode. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, we need sponsorship if we're going to really make episode 2 right. Okay. What do you think about the new Star Wars trilogy, since you got a lot of backlash? Yeah, backlash, asked Peter Pan. Look, I like all Star Wars. I will be the last person to say that I hate a Star Wars movie. I think I enjoy them all. I loved the prequels when they came out. I was a staunch defender of them. I love the original trilogy. I like a lot of the things in the new sequel trilogy. I really loved Rogue One. I enjoy Solo. And so, are there things that I would have done differently? Of course, but that's okay. And there's always things that maybe we don't love about a film. There are plenty of people who maybe don't like a line of dialogue or two in our film, or maybe don't like something about it, and that's okay. As long as people are generally can give it that thumbs up, like on the YouTube video, and recommend it to their friends, and maybe want to watch it again, then I'm really happy. And look, I've seen Last Jedi more than once, so that tells you something that I've taken the time to watch it again. I don't know if I would have done it. I would not have done the same thing with Luke, but I still enjoy the film. Okay. What genres are you interested in directing? Asked Prince Supra. Hey, Prince Supra. Prince Supra did, among others, the shot of the clone falling into frame with all the blaster holes in his helmet. I love thrillers. I love action. I love adventure. Those are my big wheelhouses. Sci-fi. That's really what I enjoy. I like basically a movie that you're gonna want to order popcorn while you watch it. That's what I'm into. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, so people are asking, how did Derek and I do the clone voices? We were on the phone. I was giving direction as I did it. I sent him a script with all the lines, and we just went through it line by line. Um, a lot of times he didn't know the context of the line because they were new lines that weren't in the version of the film I sent him. Like "Make way for the boys in blue." That's not in this. It wasn't in the original script. Wasn't set on set, but I thought it would be a fun line to say. And it's cool because it kind of turned out to be one of the most popular lines of the movie. Funny enough. All right. Do you like co-writing the script, or would you rather have had control on the whole thing? Asked Ashton Peterson. So, oh, that's a good co-writing. I'm gonna write that down. Co-writing versus solo writing. Um, I liked writing with the team. Star Wars Theory submitted a lot of great notes throughout the process. Nikolai and myself really got nitty gritty with the dialogue, with the story points. Nikolai was a fantastic help. I feel like as a writer, I'm good when it comes to writing stories and getting overall character arcs and motivations. Generally, Nikolai is fantastic in all of those things plus dialogue, and so Nikolai was a massive help. Like if you read the script that I wrote just by myself, in comparison to the script after Nikolai got his magical touch on it, you'd be amazed. The difference is night and day. So I think it's important that if you are going to co-write, that you find somebody who complements your strengths and strengthens your weaknesses. Very important. And someone you can get along with. Nikolai and I get along really, really well. And Star Wars Theory was a fantastic. He gave great notes as an audience. No, Adam. As an audience member would be, and of course, giving all his own fantastic ideas to the whole process. Oh, Adam. All right. If the fan film becomes complete, will it become a DVD release? I don't know. That's a Star Wars Theory question. All right. Did you film any scenes with Mace? Looked like he was cast. We've not filmed any scenes with Mace Windu yet. No scenes. And he is not cast. We have a few really great people to consider, but nobody's cast yet. All right, probably about 15 more minutes, guys. So keep the questions coming. Remember, you can ask a question here about a behind-the-scenes question about the film, and I will do my best to either answer it right now, or if it's a little bit more of a loaded question, I will make a video about it and get more in depth with more images and visual aids to help answer the question. Does your wife love Star Wars as much as you? If she loves me as much as Star Wars, we're all in trouble because she doesn't like Star Wars. All right. So a company wants to sponsor Star Wars Theory. Why on earth would they do that? To not profit. So what's driving that? That's a great question. This is like a big commercial. It's all part of advertising. For instance, like let's say Tesla sponsors the next episode. We put a massive big Tesla thing right at the beginning so everybody knows that Tesla sponsored this episode. And so if the second episode gets as many views as this one has in a short amount of time, and hopefully it keeps going, getting more views, then they're getting just more eyeballs on their product. But it's interesting because you really can't do product placement in a Star Wars movie. Like we can't put a Tesla car in Star Wars. So it's that type of thing. Or for instance, a film company, like I said, a camera company has potential interest in donating cameras. At the end of the credits, we say it was shot on this type of camera. And we make a deal out of that. So a lot of business decisions are made just to pay for eyeballs to see or know about their product. All right. Today I went to the Apple Store and put the fan film on a lot of devices. Nice. I love it. Use the Apple Store as a viewing farm. So that's why we jumped so many views today. Okay. Let's see here. Chirp90 says it's time to stop. Hey, sorry, man. You guys want me to stop right now? All right. You should make a video on what would you have done if you would have wrote the sequel trilogy. That's a cool video. How would I have written the sequel trilogy? I'm excited for episode 9. I'm not going to lie. I think it'll be cool. Okay. Will we see high ground in episode 2? Guys, you're going to be blown away by the high ground that is in the next episode. Any death sticks in future episodes? No, I can't say that there is. Are you going to make a cameo in this next episode? I'm actually in this episode. I'm a pair of feet that run in around the minute mark or so. Do you like Hamilton? Asked Ashton Peterson. I had never seen it. Not seen it. I'm not that rich to spend $100 to go see a play. Although I would like to see it, to be honest. All right. Marco Neves asks, I'm a little late, but someone asked about Naruto. Danny, you should definitely watch that anime. My question, will you do callbacks or screen test for episode 2? Need to grow out that beard. I need to shave this little thing. It's not a beard. It's just me being lazy and not shaving. Yeah, we're going to have callbacks for episode 2. Nothing's been cast yet for episode 2, so if you submitted an audition for one of the Jedi, we haven't looked at them. We haven't done any callbacks yet, so if you have not heard anything, there's still hope. What percentage of the story was developed by Star Wars Theory? It was very much a joint process. All right, do you agree with any of the criticism of Episode 7 that it was nearly a copy of Episode 4? Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of, big similarities. I can see why they did it. Would I have done it? Probably not. It's kind of, they were treating it also as a reboot of the entire franchise. So, yeah. All right. Oh, so Chirp says, I was just memeing. Don't stop. Okay. All right. I thought you were not showing me some love. Okay. Who's my favorite Star Wars character? Probably Anakin. I love Anakin. But I also like Talon Karrde from the original Thrawn trilogy. I don't know why. I just like Talon Karrde. I think he's cool. All right. I enjoyed the last movie you posted on your page, by the way. Hey, thanks, man. So yeah, I posted just on Christmas Eve. I posted my third student film. It's a lot different than Vader. It's more of a drama, but there's certainly tension in it. And I talk about how to use visual tension to underscore a dialogue scene. I'm a big believer that that your visuals and your audio should be going against each other. It's very similar to what we did with Palpatine handing Vader the lightsaber and telling him to, who's standing in your way, Vader? Strike him down. When it's clear he's talking about himself and saying, straight up kill me, Vader. Come on. Don't be a pansy. All right. Let's see here. Obi-Wan is the high ground. Well, maybe not for long. Most underrated director in the industry? I don't know. That's a good question. All right. Why did Star Wars Theory contact you? Or in other words, why did he reach out to you? So I actually reached out to Star Wars Theory originally about the fan film and said, hey, my mentor is a guy named Simon Crane who was the second director on Rogue One and had a lot to do with like the Vader scene by doing like stunt coordination for it. I graduated from USC where George Lucas went, and I guess it was enough to pique his interest and to email me back. So guys, I have never ever had a cold email work while looking for work, except in this one instance. And so it goes to show, don't, cold email. It's okay. Chances are you're gonna get 1 in 1,000 responses. Like I sent an email the other day to a bunch of studio executives just telling about the movie. I got 1 response from Alan Horn, who is the president of Disney Production. He just said, look, we don't hire first-time directors. But it was very gracious of him to even respond, and I really, really appreciated that. It was much more than I even thought possible. Cold email. I mean, remember a lot of the people in the industry, if you're interested in working in the film industry, they cold emailed at one point too. So it's okay. Just don't be annoying, of course. If you don't get a response, don't send 14 follow-up emails. Because then they'll block you. All right. I did a Lego mock of the Vader unmasked scene. I would like to share it with you in Star Wars Theories. Their email you can share to send a picture, please. I would upload it to YouTube and then send us a link. That's what I would do. All right. So Nara Audio says that's exactly how I got in touch with Danny. Just ask guys. Yeah, so Juan and his team, they emailed me. Or Juan did and said, hey, I want to do audio. I want to do audio. He emailed like 14 times. But he wasn't annoying about it. He was, he's always sending like examples of his work. And he would always say, if I'm being annoying, please let me know. And it wasn't annoying. So we ended up hiring him. It's cool. Let's see here. All right, Danny, they know your name now, brother. Yep. So somebody at Disney knows who I am. I would love to direct a film for Disney. Any film for Disney. I really like Disney films. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here pretty soon. What other questions do you guys have regarding behind the scenes for Vader? I got a lot. I got about 15 or so here questions. That plenty of video contents here. Like, what would I do differently? How did I start directing? What was the most difficult scene filmed? What was the most difficult scene to film and for visual effects? Where did inspiration come? Canon or Legends? I mean, it'd be a fun video just to show where inspiration came from which book. Who are we looking? What are we looking for the Jedi? Did we use one camera? How many takes? How did we do the last shot? How to shoot quickly and prepare to shoot quickly. What did you do for the eye effects for Padmatine? Was it CGI eye contacts? Padme's eyes. CG or contacts? Good question. It was a combination of both. Did your prop lightsabers glow, or are they just sticks? Yes, they all glowed. So Vader's thing, they all glowed. We used not force effects, saber forged lightsabers, I believe. I think. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, they all glowed. So like when, for instance, Vader's, Palpatine's got the thing to Vader's throat, you can see the reflection of the glowing blade on Vader's chest plates. Let's see here. How long did it take you to finalize the script for the fan film? A few months. And so that includes all the episodes. Because remember, originally this was all written to be one big short film. And so we separated it out after we had written the entire script. Smash the like button if you haven't, guys. Invite your friends. All right. What items do you take to work every day? I take a bag with a laptop, typically, a small little laptop. It's like a netbook. I just like it because the battery lasts a long time. All I do on it is write scripts, basically. I don't use it for anything else. I usually have a hard drive, like a little hard drive, just in case I need it. And pencils. A lot of pencils. And pens and erasers. And paper to do like storyboards and stuff like that. And then of course I have my director's notebook, which has all my storyboards, my script, and a bunch of other things that I use while filming. Let's see here. So the company is probably Saberforge. That's the one that wants to sponsor it. Does Saberforge want to sponsor the next episode? I haven't heard. If they do, we've got a lot of lightsabers in the next episode. It would be a fantastic use of their screen time to sponsor that episode. That's one instance where we would be able to get a product in the film. So tweet Saberforge, tell them to, and Ultra Sabers, tell them to sponsor the next episode. Because we'd be happy to say all lightsabers provided by whatever company, because they got the next episode. There's at least a dozen lightsabers in the next episode. Let's see here. How did it feel to meet fans like you at the premiere? Mythic Bricks asked. It was awesome to meet fans. And I know they're really not fans of me. They're fans of Star Wars Theory. They're fans of Star Wars. But it was cool just to at least say, hey, I'm the director of this movie that you kind of like. So it was fun. All right. Everyone says that George Lucas was a bad director. What makes a director good? I disagree with that statement. I think George Lucas is a good director. I think a good director ultimately is just, can they craft a movie that makes sense and that's compelling. It's hard to put the metric on one thing, to be honest, because you know you have movies like Avatar versus movies like Empire Strikes Back, or trying to think of a movie, Inception, or Jurassic Park, or E.T., or Munich, or Schindler's List. I mean, these are movies, a wide gamut of things, but it's always, do you get invested in the story? If you get invested in the story and you are invested all the way to the end, that's a good director, I think. So, but yeah, I definitely think George Lucas is a good director. I disagree with the sentiments that he's a bad director. So, I think he gave us Star Wars. So, let's see here. What do you do day to day for work, or are you just waiting until you find work? Right now, I am spending time with my family, but normally it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm editing, I'm editing. You know, if I'm directing, then I'm preparing, or if I'm writing, I'm writing. I'm doing research. I mean, it's a variety of things because I do three things: I edit, write, and direct. A lot of days are different. What's your favorite Star Wars character? It's Anakin. But yeah, Sonar Audio says, yeah, meeting fans wasn't about cast and crew meeting fans. It was about Star Wars fans meeting Star Wars fans. Couldn't agree more, Juan. Could not agree more. Totally. So Derek, our Roast of the Clone, says that Darth Vader should be drinking Diet Coke in the next episode, and we should get them to sponsor it. Cool, man. Okay, guys. A couple more minutes. Why don't you, if there's any other questions, please shout them out. I know one thing we want to do. We do want to do, Star Wars Theory and I want to do a commentary of the film and release that. We want to do, kind of show like a visual effects list and sound effects list version of the film, just so you can see A to B of what happened, where it started, where it went. Peter Pan asked, when did you graduate from USC? I graduated in December 2016, so about 2 years ago, exactly. Well, before I sign out today, I just want to point out I got my posters up for the film. Pretty cool. These are the posters that were actually on display at the movie theater, so they'll be worth exactly $3 in 50 years. So it's pretty cool to have them up. I had to take down my episode 3 Anakin poster though. I got to figure out where to put that one up. So I thought it was a travesty to take down Kramer also. Kramer? My Kramer. Okay, so Fjordlo asks, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, is your father proud of your directing work? So if you guys know, my dad is a filmmaker as well. He's edited and directed. He's a lot of years in the industry, and yeah, I think some things he is proud of. Other things, he lets me know when I can do better, and that's okay. He's one of the very few people that I truly trust his opinion, and he was a great help on Vader. He sat down with me and helped go through the scenes on multiple occasions. All right. Oh, so Juan was asking what happened to the posters. Yeah, I kept them, man. I needed them. I couldn't not take them. Okay. All right. Well, thanks guys for watching today. If you do have any more questions or any video ideas that you'd like to see, remember I do videos on things other than the Vader fan film, whether it's Star Wars or whether it's Jurassic Park or any other sci-fi kind of nerdy related film, Lord of the Rings. Usually there's an emphasis on breaking down filmmaking techniques, but also I love to just make video about Star Wars. And facts about Star Wars, kind of a lot of like the One Star Wars Theory does, things that I find fascinating that I like to share with you guys. So, please, if you have any ideas that you'd like to see, I know a lot of you guys are requesting some Star Wars Theory, and maybe you've been requesting things for a long time. If you haven't gotten through, please shoot me an email, comments on an Instagram post, or whatever it might be. You can find my email on my YouTube channel, just in the About section, scruffynerdherder24 at gmail.com. If you have any video ideas, please shout them, let me know, because I would love to do them. And I'll think long and hard about the movie quotes that I interlace throughout your video, because that's one of my favorite parts, just putting in random movie quotes that kind of have something to do with what I'm talking about. So, thanks guys, I appreciate it. And somebody just asked, Luke is in the credits of the film. Is that your son? That is my son. He said action on 3 takes, so I figured I'd credit him with special guest director. Okay, well thanks guys, I appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day. Try to post a video tomorrow. And remember, stay spiffy and don't do anything I wouldn't do twice. Talk to you later, guys.